Hello guys and welcome back. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone's having a great day. I just thought it might be helpful to show you how I organize my kids' toys. So I have twins, they're almost 2, and we have a lot of toys. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little tour of the living room and how we organize the toys. So hopefully it'll be helpful, and let's get started. Okay, so here is our living room, and the biggest issue is space. So we don't have a lot of space, as you can see. We kind of have a smaller living room, and this is the main area that we keep our toys. And when the babies were infants, we did not have this gate, and we would just stack their toys on the brick, and it was kind of an eyesore. I like to clean up at nap time and clean up at bedtime and kind of have our space back. So I'll start here. This was actually supposed to go up to the playroom, but I actually like it down here. So this has balls in it, and I kind of just throw all the balls in there at night, just kind of gets it out of the way. And then a basketball hoop. Eventually we'd like to get rid of all this brick, so we wouldn't need the gate. The gate just houses things that I don't necessarily want them to touch. Over here, this used to be a bookshelf that I kept my stuff on, and then I transferred it into the living room, and I had their stuff on the bottom too, my stuff. And as you can see, my stuff has gravitated towards the top and over to the corner because they can now stand on this and get to this corner. So I try to keep this with books, and also this is just small toys that they can access. These are empty oil bottles, which they love to play with, and they can also reach this shelf. So this has stuff they can access, not breakable, and some DVDs. So this is all within their reach. So that is a great spot for books. I love for them to be able to reach their books. Now over here is actually our front door to our house, but we have on the other side of the house a entryway between the garage and the house, and it has a nice mud room and a nice closet. So we actually never use this front door. I think it's weird that it comes right into carpet and people would be tromping through my living room anyway. So I have this table here. This is a skip hop activity center. So when they're little, there's a seat that goes in the middle, and then as they get older, it becomes a table. This, I rotate toys, and I put puzzles that are actually out of reach right now because they dumped them, but I'll put a puzzle or two on there. There's a Mrs. Potato Head, some electronic toys. This is just something that they can reach on their own, and they do not have to ask me. And then the truck in the corner houses smaller balls, and all this stuff is within their reach that they can access without having to ask me. So this is the closet that's right inside the front door, and we have the mudrooms. We don't use this. No one comes in this way. The top shelf was existing, and we just decided to add this inexpensive wire for 2 shelves just to make it a little nicer. And it's a great spot to store the kids' toys out of the way, but yet accessible to them. So I am just gonna go through kind of how I organize this and what is in each section, and hopefully it helps you. On the top shelf, I keep the arts and crafts, paper, tissue paper. This has coloring books, crayons, water, paints, all that sort of stuff, and then some chunkier puzzles. And then these are just like some flashcards and stuff that are a little too old for them. This is a shelf they absolutely cannot reach, so it's a good idea, to keep all the art supplies organized up there. So for the rest of this, I kind of just organized in bins a little bit, and I just want to show you there's not a ton of rhyme or reason for what goes on what shelf except for the bottom, because the bottom is reachable for them, but just kind of an idea of what I have done to make it easier on myself. So blocks I've kept in their original containers, so I have those mega blocks, and then I have some foam ones. And then the next bin I have is basically all manipulating toys, learning toys, and such. And I have organized them into these pieces go with this. This is a stacker that has the box with it. This is the wooden bead set. And it's just nice. Sometimes these are kind of more quiet toys to take this whole bin out, put it on the floor, and have them have their quiet toys. The other thing I have is Lego Duplo, the big ones. And what I do typically is I will take them out of the box, and I will cut again, once my kids have tons of Legos, I don't know if this will work, but I cut the little thing off the side that tells you what pieces belong with this kit. So I know they're all right in here. And those are kind of more quiet toys. So I can pull the whole bin out. Here's your quiet toys. Next I have a bin that has more small toys. So this is just, I've kind of gone through it and got rid of the more babyish stuff. But a whisk, their little Sesame Street characters, wind-up toys, wind-up little trucks, just like little miscellaneous stuff in a bin. So again, I can pop that bin out. Here's a bin to play with little toys. And then I have a basket of animals. So this is tiny animals that they can pull out and play with. And I have a bin here that's kind of miscellaneous. Then the next shelf I have, and I'll turn this around so you can see, I have two big bins on either side, the plastic ones, the clear ones, and then in the middle I have a big canvas bin that I just got at Home Goods, and the plastic bins are from Target. The canvas bin has all stuffed toys, dolls, and all like squishy stuffed toys. And then what I had been doing was splitting things up, like this bin was trucks and things that move, and this one was music. But I decided to switch it up and mix everything, because I found that if I just had music or just had trucks, it got a little boring for them. So actually when I put the bins away, I kind of mix the toys and it keeps them a little more occupied. So I want to kind of show you what I was talking about. So these big plastic bins are the ones that I used to separate by themes, and that worked really well when they were little, but not so well when they're older. So I just mix it, and I tend to take some of the loose toys and switch them out so that when I pull out a bin, it's kind of all brand new stuff that they haven't seen, and that's been working really, really, really well. And then the bottom shelf down here is just stuff that they can reach, so their trucks, the music, tea set. This bin is organized. Like I said, I'm a big fan of like random bins, which is funny because I'm not necessarily a big fan of random stuff like that in my life, but this actually is all the toys that go to the VTech, just because it was easier that way. Those kind of toys you don't really want all mixed up. You want to be able to find them. Works really, really well as these random bins. So you mix them up and it's a new toy every time. So the other area that we have toys is upstairs in an extra bedroom. We've set it up as a playroom. So I'm gonna show you guys kind of how I organize this and what I do up here. In this corner is our little reading nook, little chair and pillows and some books. This toy that I honestly just did not have room for downstairs. This is kitchen stuff because we're planning on taking down the tent and putting a kitchen up here. Because they played with the tent when they were younger. They don't really play with it now, so I will pop that down, put a kitchen up here. A tunnel that also collapses and you can move around. In this corner is a chalkboard, which will be better as they get older, but we're working on letters a little bit, so it's good. This little piano we loved when we were little. It was handed down from a friend, and it was really good for them to stand on. And now that they're a little bit older, it was just taking up more space in the living room, so I brought it up here. We have a couch up here because it's really nice when you're up here sometimes to just relax a little bit, because it's a small space and no one can really go anywhere. This rocking horse was downstairs as well. It was kind of taking up space after Christmas and it wasn't a fan favorite. And so by bringing it up here, they're not up here as much. They really just gravitate towards it when they're up here. And then we have this cute bookshelf that my father-in-law made. So what I've found is the key to bookshelves is not overwhelming them. So my kids can reach all the shelves, they can't reach the top. And you just want a couple things on each shelf. They don't have to be organized per se any specific way, but just a few things. So this is 2 trucks and 1 toy. This is 2 toys. This is just a puzzle. So it's not overwhelming where they have to dig through and find what they're looking for it. The other thing I've noticed is my kids won't really pull out a bin yet to see what's in it, so it's hard to organize things in that way. Bins are great in that you can hide stuff, and if this was in my living room, maybe I'd want to hide some toys a little bit. And as they get older, bins are great because you can label it with a picture of trucks and all the trucks go in there, or an animal and all the animals go in there. So it's really good when they're a little bit older for cleanup and learning and stuff like that. But for my age kids, it is much better to just have 1 or 2 things on each shelf. It doesn't overwhelm their little minds. They can see what they can grab, and it's just worked out nice. So my biggest advice with toys and having, if you have different areas like I do, swap the toys out. So all the toys that were downstairs that weren't fan favorites anymore, the rocking horse, the Zanuzu, the piano, we brought them all upstairs because we don't come up here nearly as much, especially in the summer because we're outside a lot. So switching them out like that makes them new when they come upstairs and they think, oh my gosh, new toys, new toys. The other thing I like to do is books. I like to swap them out. They have a bookshelf in their room, some books up here and a bookshelf downstairs. And I like to swap the books out every so often. And also some of the toys up here I'll swap out. So I'll say like, oh, they're really gravitating towards X that's up here. I'll take it downstairs, and something they haven't played with in a while, I'll bring up here. So that just helps keep things interesting, and you don't necessarily need to buy a ton of new toys. If you only have one playroom and you don't have another space, or you're just using your living room, my recommendation would be to have like one bin that you keep in a closet somewhere that you rotate toys through. So you have one bin that may not be the favorite toys right now, and then in a month you take those toys and put them in, grab other toys and remove them, and then a month later you do it with the toys you just put away and different toys, and on, so that your toys stay new, fresh. Obviously as they age out of the toys, you'll need new toys, but it actually works for a long time that you can kind of just swap out the toys. So hopefully this was a little bit helpful. How I kind of organize my toys. I don't like the toys all over at night. I like to clean up, and my husband and I can just relax and not even think about all the toys everywhere. We are very lucky to have that front closet as a shelf. If you have a corner in your living room, you can put a shelf like this one in it. Anything like that, just to kind of get the toys in a spot. And then bins work really great to mix things up. Clear bins so you can see what's in them. And don't worry too much about organizing. If you're like me and you like things just so, you just have to let that go and don't worry about organizing. You know, this is music toys, this is this, this is that. That works really well when they're younger. When they get to this age, I find that random works better. New different toys, they think it's all new, and it keeps them occupied. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helped a little bit, and I hope to see you again.